Albanese too slow to respond to Alice Springs violence. Indigenous leaders warned the federal government about violence in Alice Springs barely a week after Prime Minister Anthony Albanese installed his full ministry in office after last year's election. Now, almost 7 months on, Albanese is yet to decide what to do. The Prime Minister made the right call with his urgent visit to Alice Springs on Tuesday, but he and his government have been too slow to respond to a surge in violence that is clearly linked to the flow of alcohol into the town. His answer on Tuesday night was to ask for a report by February 1st on new rules on alcohol sales. In other words, he needed more time. The Central Australian Aboriginal Congress saw the problem coming when it told Indigenous Australians Minister Linda Burney about the violence in a letter on June 9. Backed by 8 other groups, Congress Chief Donna Achi warned of an unrelenting spate of violence. There is no doubt that many of the offenders are from families where adults have alcohol problems, she wrote. To permit more access to alcohol will undoubtedly add fuel to this fire. The Congress wanted the federal government to extend alcohol bans that had been in place for a decade for another 2 years. What it got instead was a Senate inquiry that is still looking into the problem. In the meantime, assaults surged. This is not a challenge for Albanese alone when primary responsibility lies with the Northern Territory government, which saw the alcohol bans as discriminatory. And the incoming government inherited decisions made by the coalition during 9 years in power. Opposition leader Peter Dutton is now talking every day about the threat of violence in Alice Springs, but he was a member of federal cabinet when the previous government accepted the end of the alcohol bans. The controls on alcohol were enforced by a federal law, called Stronger Futures in the Northern Territory, imposed by the Gillard government in 2012 with a sunset clause on many of the measures. All sides knew the bans were due to be phased out on June 30th last year. The Congress is not alone in wanting an extension of the bans. The Peak Group for Drug and Alcohol Agencies in the Territory, ADANT, also wants restrictions on alcohol sales. So does the People's Alcohol Action Coalition. We know this because they have told the Senate inquiry that is examining public safety in the Territory, which was meant to report last December but is now due to deliver its findings in March. The political spin around Alice Springs is obvious. Dutton emphasizes the need for practical action on alcohol and violence while he chips away at the proposal for an Indigenous voice to Parliament. This pursues a false choice between practical and symbolic action. In fact, the voice could be a practical change to give First Australians more say in policy and could be pursued in tandem with action on community safety.